how important it was to keep him out of the paint down the stretch of the game?
We were struggling with it in the first quarter. It seemed like every time we looked up, Tony Parker was in the paint, Duncan was in the paint. It's much easier said than done with their three-point spacing, the way they move the ball. You just have to try to make as many plays, as many efforts every single possession, and more efforts than you're normally typically used to making.
Did you make it a point to keep the ball out of Tim Duncan's hands in the end?
No, I mean, we've been making a point of it for 2 games, try to keep him out of the paint, and sometimes it looks like that's not part of the game plan, but they're a great team.
Mark, back right.
Coach, just talk about the aggressiveness and some of the plays down the stretch that Chris Bosh made.
Yeah, with us, look, he's arguably our most important player. We've said that now for 4 years, and it's not just because of that shot. That's what everybody notices, and if he's not getting the normal opportunities and he's not scoring or doesn't have big rebound numbers, it seems from the outside it's everybody's so critical about his game. But for us, he has a lot on his plate. As a two-way player on both ends of the court, he has to facilitate, he has to space the floor, and he has to find opportunities to be aggressive. It's a tough balance, but he's versatile enough and important enough for us that he's been able to find that.
What has been the key for you to keep his mind right and keep him ready for his opportunities?
He's stable. One of the most stable, mentally tough guys I've ever been around. That's why it raises the hair on the back of my neck when people question him. He's absolutely has championship DNA. It's that mental toughness that comes through because he understands he's going to be criticized from the outside because of how we ask him to play, which is paramount. That's critical for our success.
Jay?
What was your approach to managing LeBron's minutes tonight?
We talked about it beforehand. I said I wouldn't initially let him go to 12 minutes, and we'd go from there. So I'd take him out in the first quarter, I'd take him out in the third quarter, I'd give him an extra sub in the second if he needed it, and we would just communicate throughout the course of the game. He was able to play 37 and a half minutes, but you could tell that he was getting enough rest during the course of the game, and with the timeouts, he seemed fresh at the end.
Chris on the left.
Hey, Coach Spoelstra, Chris Sheridan Hoops. Pop was just in here. He said either you move it or you die, talking about ball movement. Is ball movement as important to you guys as it is to their team? They don't have a LeBron James.
It is. We're built a little bit different, but we're built on player and ball movement. It's just in a different way, and you'll hear both sides saying that throughout the course of the series when you're able to get that movement or you're not able to get to it. And obviously, we don't take it for granted for having an end-of-possession weapon like LeBron.
Tim on the right.
Eric, all the way in the back. If you addressed this earlier, I apologize. I just walked in. But you've addressed toughness and resiliency, all those things so many times, particularly during this postseason run. There were long stretches of the first half where this was really not going right. There was no rhythm. There was no flow for you guys. Did you say anything, or is it kind of now in their DNA to find a way and keep it together the way they know how?
It's definitely not something I had said. We've been through enough of these situations that you have to play through all the ups and downs, and you have to play through doubt, which is a powerful thing. You have to play through when it's going your way, and you have to keep an even keel while somehow keeping a ferocity to your play. But the mental toughness starts 2 days ago, of having to go through the film and trying to own what we could do better.
And when you talk about the right basketball play, he got ripped for making the pass to Chris in Indiana for the three, and tonight it works out being the right play. Is that something you have to discuss with him, or
no,
he just does it?
We haven't discussed that kind of thing since the first year. It's the theater of the absurd when you're dealing with what plays he makes at the end of the game. He makes the right basketball play. We trust him to make the right plays, and we know the process is right. Make or miss, it opens up for noise from outside.
Fourth row right here.
Ari Temkin, ESPN San Antonio. Anything differently defensively? Second half, the ball seemed to be more stagnant for the Spurs than in the first half when there was a lot of assists.
I don't know. Both teams are trying to get to their identity. It's tough. Neither team is making it easy on the other team. You have two very experienced, veteran, playoff-tested teams. So that's what you're looking at.
On the left side.
Coach Kenneth Johnson, Source Magazine. Coach, how is it having the big three to be able to find a way to get it done for the last 4 years? How does that make your job easier? It's kind of something that you expect that they've seen everything you can throw at them, and they find a way to get it done in a game like this based on that experience.
I don't know. This is the series is just beginning. I'm not thinking really about that. It obviously is an incredible luxury. I don't take this seat for granted.
And also, when you have somebody like LeBron going, when they play off of him, how's the fact that Bosch could step up in the corner and make a shot something that you can build on going into Game 3?
It's important for our spacing. But like I said, Chris has a lot on his plate, and he gets criticized, similar to LeBron, for having to play that role for us. It happened to go tonight. It didn't go in the Indiana game last series. Either way, we were happy with it. It's the process that's the most important thing.
Last two questions in the back and over here, Eric.
Coach, right here, Emilio Perez, Top Deportes, Puerto Rico. Was this the type of game you expected from LeBron James after 2 days of a lot of media and news, a lot of criticism around the world for him for the last performance? Was this the type of game you expected from him, this huge game?
I wasn't. Look, he's the best player in the game. He'll have a response. Does that mean it's going to be 37? You don't know. He has an incredible way to put his fingerprints on a game in a lot of different areas. We have a very competitive group, and you have 2 days to compare how that game went. It was frustration. It was painful going through that for 2 days, and now we have to manage the other emotion. That can be just as challenging. And now in 48 hours, we have to get ourselves right, and a similar mindset of desperation and mental toughness to go into Game 3.
Eric, last one here on the right.
Coach Rashard Lewis, 14 points, Birdman, 9 rebounds, and great fourth quarter defense on Tim Duncan. Could you talk about those two and their contributions tonight?
Yeah, they're great. It might look easy from the outside for veteran players to sacrifice and give up minutes. They could probably get more other places, but they understand that this team is built for. Rashard at times this year wasn't playing, but he kept himself ready. And you can't just step into an environment like this if you're not putting in hours and hours of time behind the scenes. So those guys are critical to our success of playing our depth, but it might be somebody different next game. And we have guys that will be ready if that happens.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Mono will be right up.